Certified examiner training. We're in the last section of the score sheet. In the bottom right, general driving performance. You're going to see 5 technical errors down here at the bottom. I'll get right into it. First up, the examples of automatic disqualification. Now, if the applicant continues to drive more than 10 miles per hour below the safe speed limit, so that's 11 or more, despite having been warned twice to drive the speed limit, you're going to end the test. Score that as a failure to perform, FTP. So they're going 39 or less, in this case probably about 7 miles per hour. You've told them to go faster, you've scored the slow error. You've told them again, you've scored slow again. You've had to tell them a third time. This is the disqualification, failure to perform. Now if you have to intervene, of course, verbally or physically to clear a path for an emergency vehicle, score this as a dangerous action. So if you have to tell them what to do, you have to score this as dangerous action. So the attention penalty can be a catch-all, but it also has one specific meaning here. The applicant fails to stop at a stop sign located in a parking lot. So if they're at the shop here and they're getting ready to leave and they just roll past that stop sign and ignore it, it's not a violation. It is considered the 4-point attention error. Also, this is the catch-all for fails to react safely to traffic conditions. Now, I've chosen this photo right here. You can see the person is staring at a cell phone. And you think, what happens when an applicant takes a phone call while on a skills exam? I've not had this happen yet, but it is not an automatic disqualification. First off, it's an attention issue because they're not paying attention to the road. They're not reacting safely to traffic conditions. In this case, it's also a one-hand error, right? Now, when it gets close to a dangerous action and you've got to intervene, then you'll consider, yes, this was dangerous because you were about to collide with someone, or someone else had to take extreme measures to avoid colliding with you. But again, in this scenario, someone's using their cell phone. This is a catch-all for failing to pay attention to traffic conditions. Now remember, if you score this, you have to describe the occurrence to the applicant, and you also have to write it on the score sheet. Down in the bottom, underneath all of the reasons: accident, dangerous action, violation, deductions, failure to perform. There's a little blank space under there. You're going to write it down there. Keep it brief because there's not a lot of space. You can write up the side margin if you need to, but you will need to write why this was scored on the score sheet. Now remember, do not score this if the applicant keeps talking during the test. Instead, redirect their attention. Ask them politely, I'm not permitted to talk in the drive test, please continue with the test. And remember, don't score this for not following a caution sign. Remember, these are recommended speeds in Washington State. Not required. Now, anytime an applicant is driving more than 10 miles per hour below the posted or safe speed limit, unless conditions warrant. So if it's super rainy or foggy, or hopefully you're not doing them in the snow, but there's snow out there and they're going to be driving a little slower than they need to. But if it's excessive, 11 miles per hour or more, below the safe speed limit, unless conditions warrant. Now when this happens, you are required to tell them that, okay, to score it, and then tell the applicant to drive the proper speed. Mention how fast they're driving. So you say something simple as, please drive the posted speed limit, your speed is 19 miles per hour. Now they're probably going to ask you, what's the speed limit here on this road? And you say, I can't tell you that. It is their job to know what the speed limit is. Now, if the applicant continues to drive more than 10 miles per hour below the speed limit after being advised 2 times, because you've scored it once when you circled it, you advised them again when you put a line through it, you can be disqualified for failure to perform. This is very rare, but it has happened. Next up, stop. The car stops pretty much for no reason. Makes an unnecessary stop while driving straight ahead, but there's no other traffic control such as a crosswalk or a sign or school zone that would cause them to do that. Right, so this is just a general stop with no other reason around. Remember, if they stop at a roundabout, you're going to score that under traffic control device. Now, what do you score if they stop before an empty crosswalk? Same thing. It's a traffic control device. You're going to score FTC under traffic control devices. That's over on the left side, lower section, under traffic control device, a 4-point error. Next penalty is slow. The applicant is driving more than 5 miles per hour below the posted or safe speed limit unless conditions warrant. So in this instance here, a 50 mile per hour zone, and they're going 42, and there's no reason for them to go that slow, such as traffic in front of them or weather conditions or so forth. Just score this slow penalty, but don't say anything. You don't say anything to the applicant about their speed here. You just circle the slow penalty. And yes, it can occur multiple times on the road. They can go too slow on 6 different roads, and you're going to score it 6 different times. Finally, the last one here, hesitation. When the applicant hesitates to proceed, in this case, excessively waits for distant traffic. It's slightly different from the right-of-way one here. I know the road design probably could have been better for this illustration. Right, the traffic is far enough away, they could have gone, they should have gone. You're going to score hesitation here. You're going to have to determine the distinction between, were they waiting because they thought they had to yield the right of way to a traffic that's that far away? And if they are far away, you're going to score hesitation. If they're just uncertain about who has the right of way there, or they're just waving people through unnecessarily, you're going to score right of way, 2-point deduction. Okay, that is it for all of the scoring sections on the score sheet. There are other things to consider. We're going to cover that in the next video, scoring other considerations. There's going to be a little bit more on right-of-way that we didn't cover in the right-of-way section. Join me then.